Okay, so they'll be joining us soon, which is very exciting. All right. We got pretty much everyone in here, so that's great.
Good, there she is. She's looking right at us. Hey, Symone.
One can wave. Can't hear Symone yet.
She's looking at a big screen, right?
I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now we can, yes. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Hello,
Hey,
Symone.
Take this off. Hi, guys.
Good game.
Thank you.
Wow, really good
Won the
game.
last set.
Yeah, way to rally.
We're watching.
No, that team is really, really good. So we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Very, very cool. Hi, Jordan. You're muted in case you don't know that you're muted. You are muted.
There we
Okay,
go.
hello.
Hey, there you go. Hey, Jordan. Good
Hi,
game.
guys. Thank
Hi.
Yeah, it's fun. All right. Well, take it away, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm just going to go on mute, but I wanted to say hi to Symone and Jordan. Haven't seen you guys in a while. It's been so much fun watching you play. So
yeah, thank you.
You bet. Okay. I'm just going to mute out and let the kids have the show.
Okay. And I'm Sam. I'm the Starlings Director of Programs, and I'm just going to be kind of calling on some of our players here to ask you guys some questions. So girls, if I call on you, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question, and then we'll just kind of move through and try and get as many questions answered as possible. So thank you to Jordan and Symone. Thank you guys so much for doing this. We're all really excited. And let me call on Sophie from Starlings Cedar Rapids, who is 14, to kick things off. So Sophie, if you could unmute yourself and ask your question.
My question is, what does an average day look like for you as a professional ball player?
So her question, if you guys couldn't hear, was what does an average day look like for you as a professional volleyball player?
Symone, you want to go? Go ahead.
I feel like Jordan should go.
Okay. It kind of depends on the day. On the national team, we try to lift up to 3 times a week. So that's a Monday, Tuesday lift and a Thursday lift. And then we practice usually in the morning. So it's usually from like 8:30 to noon, and with the lift before. And then, but now when we're here, when we have game days, so we do like a mini serve and pass in the morning, and then we have a game in the night. So with some rest and recovery in there when we can. So that's kind of a typical day for me.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a good question. I like that. Okay, next, I'm going to call on Alina from Starlings Linwood in California, who is 15. Go ahead, Alina.
How did COVID affect playing indoor volleyball for you?
So for me, I was in Turkey this past season, and COVID is worldwide. So we had strict rules. We couldn't leave the city. We couldn't go inside of any businesses or anything. Probably a bit more strict than Texas in general is right now. So that was difficult because it's already tough being away, and the isolation just makes you have volleyball be the only thing that you can focus on, which isn't the best thing. You want to have many different things that you're thinking about and working on so you can feel as well-rounded and as human as possible. So it was not easy, definitely.
Wow, yeah, I can't imagine being in another country altogether too. Okay, next we're gonna call on Amber Rosario from Starlings Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and Amber is 17. Go ahead, Amber.
Okay, so when you're in a rough game with a really tough opponent, and let's say your teammates are not like in the best mood and they might feel like giving up, how do you motivate them to get back on their game?
For me personally, I try to focus on like strategically, like what we can do on our side to like help kind of defend them, or kind of what we can do on an offensive side. Sometimes when we get our mind off of maybe our attitude or kind of the things that are kind of happening around us and really focus on the other team and what we can do to stop them. So really just trying to go outside of yourself and try to help others, but also strategically just kind of try to plan more and think ahead that way.
Great answer. Symone, do you have anything to add to that?
Can you say your question again? Just the first part. Was it more like about individual people or individual teammates?
Overall as a team.
Yeah, I know that I like to play volleyball in a very calmly. I'm not a screaming, running around kind of player. I mean, I can be, but not like in my natural state. So I know that for me, it's just really important to stay me, even when things are going good, bad, whatever. I think that telling that to everybody on your team, like, don't do anything crazy, like, don't, go out of your comfort zone mentally when things are going tough. Stay very stable.
Very cool. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to call on Evelyn from Brevard County in Florida. Evelyn's 14. Go ahead, Evelyn.
I think you're muted, Evelyn. There you go.
I wanted to ask, did you ever need to give up something big or meaningful to pursue your professional volleyball career?
Yeah, I think for me, I've had to give up a lot. When I was growing up, a lot of social time with my friends. I actually didn't have to miss prom or anything like that, so that was good. But I think as I've gotten older, friends' weddings, a lot of my friends had kids. Now their kids are like 3 or 4, and I'm like, hey, it's your Auntie Jordan, over here. I haven't seen you, but so I think those things for sure, and missing weddings and things like that. So it's definitely been a challenge.
Yeah, I agree. As I get older, I think it's going to be even more of a challenge because you put down roots more in America, and you find a husband or a wife and kids, and you're, like you said, nieces and nephews. I'm 24, so I'm pretty just by myself right now, but I can see some issues and missing important family things as I keep playing and going away for 10 months.
Really good question, Evelyn. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to call on Betsaida. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, from Starlings Linwood, again in California. She's 14. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, what is the best coaching advice you've ever learned?
It's a good question. They're thinking hard.
Oh my gosh, that's tough.
I've received a lot of coaching.
I think Symone. Go ahead, Symone. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, recently I've received a lot of advice, but I think recently, really simplifying the game. Like, outsides have a lot of jobs, and sometimes it can feel, for me, overwhelming. So just having like 2 or 3 keys to each skill and just remembering those every single time it's time to do that skill has helped me a lot. It just really focuses my attention and brings everything to center.
I like what she said. I think for me, she had mentioned it earlier, like about being yourself. Like, I think at the end of the day, like, being yourself and trying to be your best authentic self and trying to bring that every day and consistently show up every day. I think that's one of the things that, instead of like riding these waves, like, just try to be like this, because at the end of the day, this kind of pays off in the long run.
That's great.
That's a really good question. That was hard.
Yeah.
It's a test. No.
Yeah, seriously.
So, okay, I'm going to call on Tanya from Starlings Omaha, who's 16. So, Tanya.
Omaha! Woo!
My question is, when you were going through the recruiting process in high school, how did you narrow down your top schools and settle for your final decision?
For me personally, I had committed too early. So I kind of knew I wanted to go to Nebraska. I had a few other options, but my eyes were set on that and where I wanted to be. It was close to home. And obviously, being from Nebraska, it was kind of an easy choice. So for me, I had committed too early to have really any other options.
Yeah, a lot of players commit. I think recently it's getting a little better. People are waiting more to commit, but when I was in high school, people were committing when they're like 14, 15. I committed when I was 16, I think. And I think just having one thing that you know you want. I knew I wanted to play in the Big Ten, and I knew I would do whatever it took to get there. And I received one Big Ten offer, and I took that offer. Like, I had some other offers from different conferences, but narrowing it down when it comes to that, like, figure out something that you want, that you're passionate about, and then I think that you can't make the wrong choice.
Good answer. Good answer. All right, I'm calling on Natalie from Detroit Love. Natalie's 14. Go ahead, Natalie.
Detroit.
It's so nice to meet you guys, to meet national play like pro volleyball players. My question is, do you follow a certain diet or fitness plan?
Symone, go ahead.
Okay. No, I don't. A lot of players do. But my stomach can handle a lot of different foods. I know that a lot of people have certain things that make them feel ready to practice and play. They gave us this really amazing box when we got here, full of like all these healthy foods. And that's great. But I can pretty much eat what I want when it comes to diet and everything like that.
I'm a little bit different. I can't eat like that. And I think that the longer I've been able to play, nutrition has really played a crucial role in that. And for me, just trying to lower like inflammation that's happening in my body, right? Because I'm putting a lot of stress on it on the court and off the court within the weight room. And so trying to refuel and thinking about how can I optimize my performance. And so I've actually kind of gone maybe a little bit lower carbohydrates, high protein diet, things like that. That's kind of what I tried to stick to, and really just tried to listen to my body and kind of what it needs. But it's a lot of leafy greens. I know that's, and then I supplement quite a bit. So I'm taking, vitamin D, vitamin C, just try to be really health conscious, drinking lots of water. But Symone is much younger than me. I need to think about those things. So.
But I did try and go vegan for like 3 or 4 months because my family was into that. And I would just be careful of like just trying different diets, because I went vegan and it was great. And I lost weight and I felt my inflammation went down and it was awesome. And then I get to Turkey and my arm is weak and my legs aren't jumping as high as they used to. And so it's good and bad. Just be careful with making drastic changes. If you see a fad on Instagram, like, don't just run with it if you see something cool.
Good advice.
Good advice. Great question too. Chloe from Starlings Navajo in California. Chloe's 15. Go ahead, Chloe.
What do you think, in like your opinion, makes a player stand out to be like a pro level? Like different qualities a player needs to have that makes them, like, if they are able to play at that level or not.
I think for me, I haven't been always the most talented. I don't jump the highest. I don't hit the ball the hardest. I think what set me apart or what set others apart is the mindset and willing to like push through, like when you're uncomfortable, really hard situations, like how can you mentally overcome a situation? And so I think that's kind of, for me, what sets people apart.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of players can be physically gifted. I can jump high and hit hard, but that is really just not enough at this level. There's a lot more that goes into it. And I am learning, trying to learn as fast as I can every day, the different things that an outside needs to do mentally, the decisions you make, and not just trying to power through every block. Like, maybe you don't have to, maybe there's a better decision. And so when I see players that are thinking and doing things like that, that's, to me, is what puts them, I'm like, wow, okay, this is a player.
Very good. Kiana from Corpus Christi, Texas.
My question is, when y'all are injured, do y'all keep on playing through so you won't feel like you're doing bad for your team, or do you take a break and listen to your body?
Depends on the injury. I've never had any major injuries in my career. I've never torn any, major ligaments or anything like that, but I do have inflammation in my knee and my shoulder, and those things are manageable with physical therapy and ice. And I think if you're not doing PT or icing or Normatec and you're like, oh, my shoulder is sore, my knee is sore, I'm going to sit out, I don't think that's acceptable, because there's a way to make that better and fix that. But if there's something that is a doctor certified injury, I think definitely take a break and make yourself better.
Agreed.
Very good. Good. Agreed. Okay. Arlia from Queen City. Arlia is 16. Go ahead.
My question is, why do you play?
Oh.
Okay.
I think for me, I always wanted to be the best. That's what kind of kept me going. I wanted to be at the top. I still want to be at the top. I want to win a gold medal. I want to strive to be like, can I get every ounce of talent that I've ever had? Can I like wring it out of myself? Like I want to figure that out. So.
Yeah. Sorry, it's loud in here. Playing volleyball makes me feel every kind of extreme emotion that you can think of. It stresses me out. It makes me have the highest highs and the lowest lows. And I play because it has the ability to do that. You know, there's nothing else on the planet that makes me feel these strong emotions. I mean, hopefully I find a job later that makes me feel that way. But I'm chasing the fear and the stress and the happiness and the excitement. Like that means that I care and I'm passionate, and this is what I should be doing.
Good, very good. Okay, I'm gonna ask two more girls. Okay, so I'm gonna call on Faith from Salton Sea, California. Faith, this is 13.
Gosh, so young.
Has there ever been a time where you like felt like giving up? And if so, like how did you get back up?
Yes, there have been many times where I felt like giving up. I struggle with that all the time. It happens more than you would think. But I think that, like we said earlier, like staying like this, like volleyball is going to take you here and there and all over the place, and you can't judge the moment so much. You just have to know who you are and what you stand for and how you feel and like the commitments you've made to yourself. And so then when it gets hard, you know that no, like this, I know I should be here. I know this is what I want to do.
Very good.
She said it well. That was great.
Okay, good. And I think I can call in two more girls, and we almost have everyone here. So Brianna from Jacksonville, go ahead.
My question was, what is the most exhilarating experience you've had playing professional volleyball?
Jordan's is probably a lot better than mine, so I'll let her go first.
I think for me, probably winning a bronze medal in Rio. So what people don't understand is that they don't just hand you the bronze medal. You have to go out and earn it. So we actually lost to Serbia, a very talented Serbia team in 5. And then we had to regroup, had a day off, and then we had to come back and play a very strong Netherlands team. And we actually won in 4, but it was probably one of the hardest, like mentally. You talk about mental like capacity and willing to overcome. It was really hard. They came at us really, really hard, and our team just ended up walking away with the bronze medal. And again, it was probably the most satisfying. I won a silver in London, but the weight and understanding of what it took to like win a bronze medal was really cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I played overseas for like 2 years now, and those moments are more recent, but I think that playing with girls that speak the language and girls that I know, like in college, that gave me the most exhilarating moments because I really bonded with those girls, and it was just like we came together and won. So it's gonna sound, it was a long time ago. It was like 2015, but I went to Northwestern and we beat Penn State, who was just in an insane team at that time, in like a crazy 5-setter. And I was on a high for like the next week. Like it was just this crazy feeling. And I've won some really important games and some championships overseas, but nothing compares to the feelings I had in college with my friends.
Those are awesome. Great moments to share. And, you know, I know we have like 5 or 6 girls that haven't had their questions answered, but I think we've gotten a really great bit of information from you guys today. So I think we're just going to end on a note of, can you guys each just give your advice to these girls as volleyball players, but also just as people for They're off the court. Go ahead.
I have time if you want to.
Yeah?
Go through
Go
everything.
ahead.
I can stay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, that's
okay.
awesome.
Well, that's great.
We'll know when the game starts. It's in the
Yeah.
background.
I can hear you just fine. It's they're
When you
not
guys
loud.
have to walk off, just walk off. Okay,
I'll
cool.
take care.
Okay, well then, Kate, go ahead. Kate from San Gabriel.
My question was, if you could have done something differently throughout your volleyball career, what would you have done?
I think for me personally, actually learning now with the pandemic, I mean, it stinks and it stinks like not being able to play volleyball, but I realized that actually taking some time away and like coming back and like having this refocus and time to like recuperate my body and really kind of hone in what I really want, I think that was like a blessing. So maybe when I had like little pockets of time over the years, like really taking them and like stepping away, like doing something else. I just always felt like I had to do something. I had to, if I wasn't in the gym 2 times, a week, like I had to do something. So just kind of stepping back and kind of reflecting.
Yeah, I agree. I probably would have overseas lived more. I feel like I just went there and like didn't live at all. I just went to the gym and came home and that was my life. But talking to all these girls here about their experiences and they said they did all these things in France, Italy, and Turkey. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. So, and I can still fix that, but I would have definitely lived a lot more when I was far away from home.
Very cool. Okay, Nasia from Dallas. Okay, right there.
What did it take to become a pro volleyball player?
What do you mean? Explain.
Like, how much time in the gym did you have? Like, how much practice in the gym did you work hard to become a pro volleyball player?
Go ahead, Symone.
Okay, a ton of time. Like Jordan said earlier, we didn't have time for a lot of other things. Prom, dances, having a boyfriend, anything like that was pretty much canceled out. Like the club schedules, like they are, like 3 days a week, 3-hour practices, and mine was an hour away, so I'm driving, coming back. So a ton of time. It's you can't really do anything else when you fully commit and get in that club space.
I agree.
Okay, and Delina from Starlings Cola, City of LA is Cola.
Hi. So my question is, what advice would you guys have for somebody who started late, but wants to play at a professional level?
I think just continue to stay patient and know that you're like on the right path. One of my really, really good friends on the national team, she's a 2-time Olympian. She didn't start playing like competitively until she was a sophomore in high school. So you have time and like just like trust the process and trust in what you're doing because you never know, it could pay off.
Yeah, are you talking about yourself? How old are you?
I'm 15. I'm gonna turn 16 in May, but I didn't really play club. This is my first season playing club, and I played like in middle school, but that wasn't really like seriously.
Yeah, you're totally fine. I had a very late start. I didn't make my freshman high school team. And then I think sophomore year of high school, I made a team and that's when I got going, but I didn't play club until I was a good club team until I was like 16. So, but what I would say, what's your position?
I'm a 5'7" middle, so I'm not really sure.
A middle, okay, good. Learn how to pass. Learn every single thing that you can, because just learn every single skill. Don't let anybody pigeonhole you into one place because you're a middle. Learn all the skills, no matter what, because your position could change over the years. And if it's a late start, that already puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage. So just learn all the skills that you can.
That's great advice. Okay, I'm gonna go with Lexi from Starlings, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Working on the mute. That's okay. Here, I'll ask your question for you, Lexi. Okay, how old were you when you started playing? Is Lexi's question.
For me,
go ahead.
Okay. 15. I was 15.
Yeah, so for me, I probably didn't start playing club until I was 12, but I think what we talked about earlier, I think there was a question like what it took. I think it's really important to also be a multi-sport athlete. I was able to play basketball, I ran track, I was actually in the band. So kind of getting yourself in other scenarios so you can mentally like take a little bit of a break. I think it's really important to kind of try other things too. So you don't get burned out by the time you're in college and like just want to quit, because I think that happens more often than not.
Okay, and we have, I think, 2 girls left. And if I miss you at the end and you then unmute yourself and yell at me. So Naomi Frazier, have you spoken yet? Okay.
My question is what's your motivation on a game day? Like mine is music, and I just like kind of dance in my room and then get pumped up, but you're in a pro, so it's kind of more advanced than high school, but yeah, that's my question.
I think for me, I used to be like that. I used to want music, and I still do. Like there's certain days that I like vibe to that, but then other days I'm more like thinking strategically, like what I'm gonna do for the match. So sometimes I'm watching video, sometimes it's just in my head. Okay, they're gonna hit this. I'm gonna defend here. I'm gonna hit this shot because they're gonna block here. You know, so I'm constantly thinking those scenarios and kind of playing the tape. We talk about it, like playing it forward and like what's gonna happen, and try and anticipate a little bit. So that's kind of where, but I'm with you. I used to be like music all the way, but sometimes now the noise, I'm like, whoa, it's too much.
Yeah, I agree. I used to listen to music all the time with my AirPods. But now I feel like it makes me not present in the moment. Like whenever I get here in the gym, I want to be here and hear everything and talk to people. And so I don't even use my AirPods anymore. Oh, okay. If anyone here is like an overthinker or gets nervous, like I already think a lot. So on game days, I like to not think. I like to completely call a friend or go outside. On the game day, I do not think about the game. I do my prep work the day before. And that way, when I come to the gym, I just feel really fresh and like I'm ready to take everything on.
Great. Okay, 2 more questions. Lola, go ahead.
What is something that helped you get to a professional league, like an aspect, like a certain skill or mentality or like a physical attribute or something like that?
I think like Symone said, like practicing all the skills, like being pretty good at a lot of them, like kind of sets you apart even more, because the ability to ball handle at a high level, the ability to ball handle at a high level really can kind of set you apart. And some teams overseas, like or here, like want to hire you just because of that. So I think that's really, really important. I would be that person, like my neighbors hated me because I would be hitting the ball against the garage just constantly, just like all night. And my neighbors were like, what is this person doing? But I think it really, all those touches at night, like really, really helped me.
Yeah, in college, I still hate this day, but I played 3 rotations for my first 2 years, freshman and sophomore year. And that put me back a lot, like learning how to pass, serving, like all of that stuff. It took away a lot of my experience in that space. So what got my foot in the door to pro is my jump and my attacking. And when I got overseas, I was like, okay, I have to pass. No one can come in for me. There's no way out. This is on me. And sticking with it and, dealing with, the losses or feeling like you're not good enough, like keeping going and just not letting anyone tell you that you can't do it, even though you started late or aren't traditionally this kind of player.
Okay, last question, Nina. Go ahead, Nina.
My question was like schedule wise, what's it like being a volleyball pro athlete? Schedule wise, basically.
Yeah, so
no, you go.
Like all year round, for example, with the national team, like when I'm not playing pro, like with the national team. So I usually have anywhere between a week and 10 days off between those two things. And with that, with the national team, we actually do have weekends off. So it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday is off. And then, but then overseas, oftentimes you're playing twice a week. So that's 2 games a week, Wednesday, Sunday usually. And then an off day here and there if you can get lucky. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's really all year round and no time off. The pandemic is the most time I've had off in my 13 years of playing pro.
Wow. Yeah, like yeah, that's like how the professional schedule is overseas. And then if you're not on the national team, you have a big block of time where you got to figure out how to get touches, and probably from like, I don't know, April to August, and you pick a place to train, find a coach, and put yourself there and keep working, because that much time off can be detrimental if you're not doing something.
You guys, thank you so much for spending the
Really.
time and answering everybody's questions. That was amazing. And I hope that all of you Starlings were listening to all of these amazing words of wisdom. And I want to say thank you. Lucy, do you have anything to say?
Thank you, ladies. You're always there for Starlings, and you mean the world to them. And I think probably they touch your hearts too. So
Yes.
I love this win-win. Can you guys all kind of say goodbye and
Bye,
thank
guys.
you?
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Good
Great
luck. We're
questions.
enjoying watching you.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
job.
Bye.
Great
All right.
game. Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys, Starlings. You guys are good. You're good to go. We'll try and, get you this information. And remember to go watch the game on YouTube.
Yeah,
The
it's
next
starting
game is
right now.
starting
See
in
it?
5 minutes. And it's on
Right there.
YouTube. And I emailed all your parents the link. So go watch right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you so
Bye-bye. Have a
much.
good season.
You're welcome.
See you at
Thank you.
Nationals.